Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zoe and this is Sacred Wild Journaling. Today I want to show you one of my latest journals that I finished. I actually finished this in October of 2020, so it's been a little while since I've put this video together. This was about 4 months it took me to fill this journal, and I use a lot of my card spreads in here, things like working with the new moon, stuff like that, and as well as personal day-to-day things. So anyway, I hope this inspires you with your own journaling practice, and let's dive into the video. So welcome to my journal, and I always use these stationary island bullet journals, so they're dotted journals. So as you can see, not great with the setup as we first get in here. I usually do really elaborate setups in my journal. I'll insert a photo here so that you can see what I mean. But I never seem to actually get a chance to complete this. So I was going to transfer some of the details from my bigger setup spread into here, but that just didn't really happen. Over the page, Grateful Heart. Again, this is a spread that I was trying to transfer from my old journal. And the idea was to do some gratitude journaling. So gratitude, you know, write the things that I'm grateful for on this side, and then every day use this as a reference. So sort of really think about the things I'm grateful for just by rereading the page every day. So that was the intention, but again, didn't really finish it. Self-care toolkit and the solstice, I was going to do a spread. So yeah, first few pages, not really great, but here we are. And this was the first spread that I completed, and this is working with the moon. So this is now available as printables in my shop and on my Patreon actually, and so this is working through the different energies of the moon cycles up to the full moon, all the way back down to the new moon. And again here, so you can write in here what you're working with, so the ideas and plans, then how you're nurturing things you're launching and sharing, and releasing and resting. So that was really fun. And again, some more new moon intention setting, so spaces to write about your goals or any ideas, things you want to implement over the next month. Breaking point, this was actually during the lockdown, I think, of last year, or just, you know, 2020 was tough for a lot of us, but I had a bit of a realization about the direction I'm going in life, and I felt like I was pulled in a different direction, I guess, than where I wanted to be going. So this was kind of helping me to reevaluate and helping me to get this new vision of what I really want to be doing. So yeah, starting July then in a really positive way, just using a photograph here that sort of kind of set the theme for July. Really simple calendar here as well, with the different moon phases on, so it was something I was trying to keep track of at the time as well. So him working with the moon, so as I said, I was trying to work more closely with the moon cycles and really get into that idea of setting an intention and kind of following it through, just, you know, doing like a month-long project. 30 days of drawing challenge. This was something I really wanted to do, and it came out of this journaling back here, this breaking point journaling actually, that I really wanted to do more drawing. And again, I've not even done even now, so it's, what day is it? Well, it's May now anyway, so even almost a year later I've still not completed a 30-day drawing challenge, so maybe that's something I will do this year. But this was, you know, setting that intention anyway, which has helped because I have been doing a lot more drawing over the last year. And again, daily card pulls. So this is something I really like to do when I start my day, and it helps to get me into a really nice positive mindset as I shift into my day. So it's quite helpful just to note down what card or what message came up. And sometimes you can see themes playing out, so it's always the same things either I keep coming back to or I want to be working on. And then I did some weekly spreads, and I really like doing these spreads. Again, I added in the moon phase here and the kind of energy that we're working through. Have my weekly goals, and then this was a habit tracker here and a mood tracker. And as you can see, that was quite a sad day, but yeah, sort of trying to track how much self-care I did with my habit tracker and where my moods were. And I did find 2020 a lot of my moods were down here in what I'd call the more negative section. But yeah, this is quite fun to work with, just having this section for goals at the top for the overall week, and then splitting up my days at the bottom. So this was really fun, and again, easy way to just decorate it. So once I'd drawn it out with my fine line, adding in a few stickers, and I used some of my either watercolour or my Neo Caran d'Ache crayons. So again, this is thinking about my 30-day drawing challenge and just ideas of things I could draw. And this was actually setting the intention when I first started my Patreon. So I opened my Patreon in July of 2020, and that's been amazing over there. So I've really, really loved working with that community over the last almost year. So this was, yeah, setting intentions as the welcome message there. And so a lot of the pages in here are, I created these around some of the questions that have come up from the card readings we've done over on Patreon. And again, just washi tape and doing some sketches, little drawings. This was one of the card pulls. I used to do a Magic Monday with the Muse, so that was the Muse Tarot, and just some questions that were coming up. So it was quite a good way to journal some ideas. Again, look, sketching in things here so that I could work through, you know, the ideas I was working with. So here we've got nurture and blossom, things I want to nurture and blossom. So, and then things I want to let go of. So here, really thinking about the things I'm trying to grow in my life and the things that I need to let go of in my life as well. Dreams that I'm ready to nurture. Again, I didn't really finish this. It was quite a lot of black colouring in, but I think that could be really beautiful when it's finished. And again, it was the ideas that I want to plant. So this is great for intention setting or goal setting. Just writing in here things or projects or goals that you have, things you want to grow. Moving over the page, again, it was a little bit more journaling. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes it's funny. Sometimes I really love to write a lot, and then other times I really prefer drawing. So yeah, I obviously had a lot of ideas I wanted to jot down here. I think there's a little quote as well from Light is the New Black is a book by Rebecca Campbell. So there was a few things there I was trying to jot down. And again here, this idea of illustrating my journaling. So messages that come up for me, I really like to draw them. So here, this is a really classic way that I love to decorate my journal. So lots of stickers, sometimes photos, stickers and bits of washi tape. And then I kind of section out the page by drawing these vines, and that's really fun to do. Over the page here we've got a card reading, so 3 cards that I pulled. These were the questions that I had, and then these were the cards, so I photographed the cards that came up for me, and then I wrote about what the messages were. And again, just using some stickers and some photographs in here just to fill up the page. So that's a really fun spread, and I really like working with cards in this way, like pulling some cards to really, you know, get deep into some questions, or especially if I'm feeling stuck with something. Oracle cards or tarot cards really help me to kind of look at things from a different perspective, or help me to get unstuck, see where the problem issues are, and see how I can try to unravel things and get moving again. So here we are with the new moon again. So this was actually a printable that is still available in my Patreon. So if you're on the printables tier or above, you can print this out, and then you can fill this out in the new moon. So seeds you want to plant, setting some goals. Again here, look, so these are some questions that I had. I had quite a lot to write about. I think 2020 was a very kind of introverted year for me, and I was trying to work through quite a lot of things, so I was writing quite a lot. But again, I love this idea of decorating the page, just really simple here with some photos and stickers. So in fact, these stickers here and here and here actually are all printable downloads from my shop as well. They're from the Beautiful Journal bundle. Yeah, so are these actually as well. So that's quite fun. But yeah, a bit of washi tape as well. Washi tape's always fantastic for decorating any journal spread. And again, I had some questions. Something I really love to do, let me see if I can find it, is, oops, I've got these. This is the questions deck. So this is available on my website. And what I sometimes like to do in the morning is just shuffle my deck and then pull a card, and it gives me a prompt. So what is my inner muse ready to teach me? So that is a great prompt to start my journaling practice for the morning. And if I can't initially think of an answer, I will pull a card, so either a tarot card or an oracle card, and see what the message is that comes up, because sometimes it won't be something I will have initially thought of, and that's always really insightful to see, you know, the gaps in my mindset or the gaps in my intentions, things that I'm missing. So yeah, these are really, really fun. I love working with these. And it's great as well because if you're not sure kind of where to start, I think journaling can be quite daunting sometimes because we want to journal every day, but you don't know what to write about. And I think this is so when you want to journal every day, but you don't really know what to write about, and that can feel quite tricky sometimes, and I think that can put you off from journaling. But working with like the questions deck is easy because then you can find a message every single day or a prompt every single day to give you a focus for your writing. Again, I seem to have a lot of new moon work in this book, in this journal. So yeah, I took some photos here, pulled some cards and took some photos, but I never actually got round to writing out what the messages were. And again, working with this spread. So this kind of worksheet, but I didn't actually fill it out. So I had the intention of working through these energies here. So the inspired action, what my ideas and plans are. So trusting the process, really nurturing and refining. So what's working. Then anything I was launching or celebrating, I'd write in here things that are going well. And then this is more like self-care here, so release and rest. So ways I'm taking care of myself. And this was really fun. And this is why I love these stationary island journals, is because you can put mixed media in here. The pages hold up really well. And this was actually, there is a video on my channel of how I created this spread of layering up. It's quite intuitive painting style. And then just sticking in some of these lined papers here so I could actually do my journaling on there. So it just makes your journal page really pretty. Again, back to more questions, things I didn't actually fill out. Sometimes I find that very therapeutic. It's not necessarily the actual journaling itself, but more of this decorating the page. Here, this just is quite creative, just thinking about composition on the page, how I'm going to lay it out, and I find that really fun just to kind of work through pages like this. So I feel like I've set them up ready to do the work, but I'm not always great at actually dedicating myself to the written side of things. So I think this is why I love art journaling as well. Here there's been quite a lot that I've written about here. So sometimes I try and do like a morning journaling, like morning pages, and just trying to really write down how I'm feeling, things that are going through my head, things that keep ticking over. This was really fun. So goals and ideas, really writing down, kind of trying to nail down what it is that I want to focus on over the coming months. And this is really fun. So this was, I think, acrylic paint in the background, black ink over the top and just kind of doodling. But then this is a piece of black, it's almost like black card. So I just ripped it and put it in and then had these stickers over the top. And I love this, working with black like this. It really kind of separates out the page. It's really pretty. So daily card spreads, daily card pulls. Again, I don't always do every day, but it's quite nice to sort of keep a record of my card pulls. Here's my August setup that I never really finished. Look, things to start doing and things to stop doing. So this idea of what am I going to focus on this month here? What do I really want to sort of dedicate myself to? Things I want to stop doing, like maybe procrastinating or overthinking or I don't know, things like that. So that's quite fun. Oh, this was really fun. So I've really started to get into using magazine pages and just sort of chopping them up and, you know, re-putting them together, just collaging. And I sort of had this idea of inner landscapes. So almost like your emotions create like a landscape inside. So trying to visualize how I'm feeling inwardly. So that's quite a fun technique to work with. This is another printable that's on my Patreon, and this is working through the full moon energies. So again, what am I celebrating here or grateful for? Things that are going well, and then things I want to release or things that are not going so well. And oh, page I've not actually finished yet. Again, look, some things to collage with. That's quite fun. And yeah, sort of more pages that aren't completely finished. But again, look, I love this layout, playing around with colour, playing around with composition. So that's really fun. Path and Purpose. This is from a card pull. So I've pulled an oracle card, and then this is me writing about the message that's come up. Again here, look, using this black paper. So I think this is maybe a full moon reading. So I've got some questions here, and then these are the cards I pulled, and then I've written the answers here. So again, really easy way to do a spread, a journal spread, and you can just, you know, pull a few different cards with some questions. So it gives you a lot to write about. And again, yeah, using the black card here and just simple with a white, I think that's a white jelly pen over the top, or jelly roll, I think they're called. Just to make some stars. So it's like a night sky. This is really fun. So I had this photograph that I took on the beach because I found this sort of stack of rocks which I thought was really beautiful, and then I tried to extend it just using like watercolours. So quite simple, this idea of extending it and creating a whole spread based on that. Then I just have a few words here as well, so a bit of writing that I wanted to sort of make the most of. Sort of, and it's sometimes a nice reference to come back to. So sometimes the thoughts you have, like when you're out in nature, I try and jot them down either on my phone or something, and then make a spread out of them later, because it's quite a good reference and just, you know, a reminder of life and how we cope with life sometimes. So it's nice to come back to. Here again, I've set out a journal spread, and I've not actually filled it out with anything. I seem to really enjoy these. Here, look as well. I might turn these into printables for Patreon. So what judgments have I been holding on to? So this is quite fun, isn't it? Kind words of encouragement for myself as well. So just thinking about how I can be a bit more kind to myself. What am I grateful for? Again, this is quite a fun way of thinking about gratitude, because I find with gratitude journaling, sometimes you're always writing the same thing. Like, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my home, or, you know, things like that. So sometimes just having almost a really beautiful aesthetic page with all these things on, and you can just look at them every day. It's quite a nice way to get yourself into that feeling of gratitude, that vibration of gratitude. This, I started doing a mandala, and it sort of wasn't as perfect as I wanted, so I abandoned it. So it's an empty page. This is another fun page using loads of stickers. It's really quick and easy to create something beautiful, and I just use these like wiggly lines to separate it out. So I've got different sections I can write in, and here I've just got different questions as well, and look, card pull questions. So I set up my pages quite a lot like that. And here, look, I've even pulled the cards and taken a photograph of my card spread and printed that out and stuck that in. And again, that's just a great way of like illustrating the page, quick and easy. But also, as you'll see, I don't always end up filling things out. And I think throughout 2020, I really enjoyed this process of creating the page spreads. And I think because, you know, it was something calming, and it just gave my mind a bit of focus, and I wasn't really in that place of diving deep. I think when you're in survival mode and there's a lot of fear around, just finding something to calm you down, calm your focus is enough. And I think just spending time creating these pages was so beneficial for me. Whether I actually filled them out or not, it doesn't really matter. And it's interesting, as I look through this journal, it all feels empty in a way, like it's still a work in progress. It's almost like I've set up the pages, and now I could go back in at some point and actually fill out the questions, actually pull cards, and really think about, you know, diving deep into all the energies and things. But yeah, just this process, I think, and playing around, that was really beneficial for me throughout 2020. So here we have another monthly setup, and again, just simple calendar with the moon phases. And even now, I still love to work with the moon phases as well, and just think about that natural ebb and flow of life, and especially with my mood as well. That really helps me to kind of focus on the cycle as a whole, so not worrying too much if I'm getting, you know, tired or burnt out, or really dipping into what I would say are negative emotions or a negative patch. Just knowing that it's part of that ebb and flow as well of the cycle, and knowing you're coming out of it as well. Again, self-care tracker, this was super important for me last year. Again, I didn't always fill it out, but just being mindful of all the things that really help me to feel better, feel calmer, feel more in tune with myself, feel more grounded, feel more centered. You know, this is a great one, my daily card pulls. This is something I've not done so much in 2021, but I think it's definitely a great way to start the day, and I think I'm going to start bringing it back into my daily routine again. Just pulling a card at the start of the day is such a beneficial way of creating not only a positive habit, but getting yourself into a positive mindset, helping you focus for the day just as you start off. So again, yeah, full moon, got some stickers in here, and I have actually written some things here. So just processing the energy that I'm working through at the day, maybe feelings, you know, especially if I'm getting stuck with something, sometimes it's quite good to get it out of your head and write it down. And then I started going back into doing the weekly plans, so planning out my week, having a to-do list as well, and I find this quite beneficial, of actually writing a to-do list separate from my days. And I like to fill out the days once I've finished or completed it, because quite often I'll have a to-do list that's so big, by the end of the week I've only ticked off 2 things and I feel like I've not got anywhere. So by actually writing down each day what I've physically done, it helps me to track in a much more honest way what I'm actually doing with my time. This was quite a fun page. So this red here and the beautiful lotus flower is direct images taken from the card that I pulled for this. So this, I think, was from the Archetypes deck from the Wild Unknown. And again, just a really simple way of creating a beautiful page, and, you know, thinking about questions that I want to ask or things that came up for me from pulling that card. So it's interesting, you can sort of section out things that you're trying to work through, different facets of your life as well, just by pulling a card and thinking about certain things that you're trying to process. Again, love using photos. This is one of my photos as well. That's quite fun, just to go out in nature and take your own photos, and then you can use those in your own journaling as well. Again, look, weekly goals up here, so trying to separate it out from my actual weeks or the days in here. This was really fun. This was one of the first spreads that I started to play around with collage, and I really enjoyed this process. So I just used magazine images and tearing bits out and then creating an overall spread. And actually, I don't think I pulled a card for this. I think it developed, and as the imagery developed on the page, I kind of got these words, deepest truth, this kind of idea that there was almost like this cave, this underground cave here, and so, you know, sort of growing from within, and this light within, and then, you know, the energy comes out from within that. So that was quite an interesting process, but yeah, really fun to just play around with that. And again, this doesn't even involve any artwork, so this has got some of my drawings in, but this was just printing off loads of different photos. Some of these are magazine clippings or textures from magazines. And again, just some words from my written journal, or my notebook really. And I've transferred this into here with some images as well that really illustrate what the words are saying. Blank page. And again here, getting into September. Look, I don't always finish a spread, but sometimes just getting down what you need to get down is enough. Oh, this is really fun. This is a printable that's available on my Patreon page. So these are all some of my pressed flowers. So yeah, you can cut those out and stick them in. So it's just playing around with a composition there. Inktober drawing prompts. I mean, you can see how empty this is. I didn't even start Inktober, but I was thinking about it. So again, sometimes just getting ideas down on the page, whether you follow them through or not, that doesn't really matter. And then again, another one of these. I really love this process of just using images that I found online or magazine images, cutting them out and sticking them together. And there's something internally that really helps not only to calm me, but it helps me to process and really embody the feelings that I'm going through, or these words, things that I've written in my journal. This is a printable as well that's available on my Patreon, and again this is a 3-card pull, so you can pull some cards to just get an overall view of where you're at. Again, this is another, pull some cards. So again, just setting up the page and really enjoying that process, that more creative side, I guess, of journaling. So I'm not always in the mood, I guess, to write things down. Sometimes just turning up to the page and creating something beautiful is enough. So yeah, November here again, created this beautiful grid for my card pulls, and I wrote down which deck I was working with as well. So pulling cards from that every day. And again, there's gaps in here, but it's a reminder that, you know, every single day is a new day and a new chance to start afresh. So it doesn't matter that maybe you missed 3 or 4 days in a row, you can start the process again. And it's that, again, I guess, you know, cycles, dipping in and out, that ebb and flow. Started to write a self-care tracker here, didn't get very far at all. So again, quite an unfinished page. And then this was me setting up for the Sacred Wild Advent. So again, this was a printable that I did for the whole of the Advent period of December on my Patreon. So it's 24 days, 24 printables. That was really fun. So this is all the printables. So again, I printed them out and I've stuck them in. Some of them I painted in. I don't know if I've actually worked through any of the actual challenges. But yeah, this is, you know, pulling a card for the day, answering these questions, just jotting things down. This is definitely something I think I need to go back. Now I'm feel more secure in 2021. I think 2020 was such a, I don't know, there was just a lot of chaos in the world, wasn't there? It was quite unsettling. And so I think just, it was quite hard to go within, I think, to dive deep when emotionally you're not feeling very stable. So I think now I'm in a better place where this could be really beneficial. And again, nice daily practice. So you've just got one thing to focus on each day. Really nice daily practice for 24 days. So that's really fun. And I think, yeah, all of these, obviously you could use washi tape, stickers, spend a lot more time on this, colour things in as well. This is one of my favourite pages actually, self-care, this idea of almost an apothecary with, you know, different tonics, so things for your self-care, what helps you feel better, and you can write them in the different sections or bottles. And I think that's the end of the journal. Yeah, just some notes at the back, blank page. So I hope you've really enjoyed this little journal flip through, and even though it's been quite unfinished really, I just wanted to show you the process, that not every single page needs to be a gorgeous, beautiful, finished product, and that actually it is the process and the journey that's important. And as long as you're doing it for you and it's serving you in a beneficial way, it doesn't matter what it looks like, and it doesn't matter if you end up with blank pages, it doesn't matter if it's finished or not. So I hope that's inspired you and given you a few ideas for your own journaling practice. I'd love to hear in the comments below what you found most inspiring, or if there's any new ideas that you want to try. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.